right, guys, welcome back to another Fantasy Fishing Show, Bassmaster Open Pros Pick'em, Lake Champlain. Fishes up the Bassmasters Classic. Hank Cherry took the title there. Man, I mean, really and truly, they caught him about what we expect him to do and how we expect him to catch them. I'm really not too terribly surprised. Quite a few of the guys that we picked were right up there, right in the mix of things. Honestly, I feel like anybody could have walked away with that one. Hank just happened to finish it out and win it. But this week we are upstate New York at Lake Champlain. Definitely a lot of history on that lake. All of us have been there for the most part, and I would say that they're going to catch them this week. There's no doubt about it. I'm really looking forward to seeing what these guys do here. But, hey, let's go ahead, without further ado, let's go ahead and kick it off, and let's get these picks rolling. Matt, who do you have Group A?
Group A, you could pretty much just throw a dart at it and go with them and have a reason why they're going to catch it. I'm going Scott Martin. He's a low percentage. He's had a lot of history on Champlain, and for a Florida guy, the dude loves Lake Champlain, always has, always will, and I think he's a strong pick.
Yeah, I went Scott Martin as well. Fishing that lake quite a bit and rooming with Scott for a year. I actually got to room with him at Champlain, and the guy's forgotten more about Champlain than I'll ever know. Definitely is a hard hitter there. I know he's going to catch him. I went and looked it up. I went and Googled it. I did a little bit of Matt research, and I looked up Scott Martin's win at Champlain, and it was literally landed on July 7th as when he won it. And I think went 2017 or something like that, 2016, 2017. So, yeah, Scott Martin all day. What you got, Bradley?
I think that maybe this group's not going to let Scott sit up there on that famous rock pile up there on the north end that somehow him and Dudley always get off themselves. That always amazed me with 180 boats and the FLW Tour, and then those two would commandeer that place year after year. It just made no sense. But I'm going Corey Johnston.
What place?
What
place? Apparently there was something going on that I didn't know about when I was fishing the tour. But go ahead. I don't know about this rock place.
Oh, yeah, there's a very famous rock pile.
Yeah, very famous. Corey Johnston, just because he's a Johnston, and I feel like that he's got a win coming, and I think that trophy, this one could be his. Like I don't know what it is about him in this tournament, but Chris, it's kind of like the Lane brothers. You know, Bobby shined for a while, and then Chris shined for a while, and Corey and Chris are obviously both extremely strong here. This is going to be my northern swing. You're going to see a lot of northern guys because we've all been through this. Todd knows exactly what I'm talking about. See, he didn't even know about the rock pile. This is a hard place for guys from the South. This is when things really change, and years of experience on tour or being a northern guy really pays off on this northern swing that we're fixing to do here.
Yeah, no doubt. So what you got, Todd? Who you got Group A?
I'm probably going to pick this. I'm probably going to switch this pick because I was really hoping Scott wouldn't be in that first group when I saw Seth, because I really want to pick Scott. And I probably will switch from Seth to Scott. Right now I got Seth, but I'll probably switch it unless I forget. Now I got Seth.
So one thing that's probably going to be going on, and I think they might hit the tail end of it, but I think that might be right dead in the middle of it. You just don't know. Are the fish on Lake Champlain spawning? These smallmouth spawning. Traditionally, first week of July, absolutely. Second week of July, it starts tapering off. They're going to hit the tail end of the spawn. So I'm just going to tell you guys, this is going to be a spawn. I feel like at least the first 2 days, this is going to be a spawn-heavy event. Now, that's when experience is going to come into play on days 3 and 4 for sure.
Well, I will say, I was just happening to be looking through I think yesterday, Scott posted something. And he was like, man, he kind of hinted that it was like, it's a little later than I was expecting.
Yeah.
And that's all he said. And I just instantly thought, okay, he's talking about the spawn, and it might look to him like it's progressed further. Now, I don't know that to do, but
he might be playing mind games too. You know, these guys, they're great mind gamers. So, all right, let's go ahead and jump into Group B. Hallman, who you got?
Austin Felix staying with the Northern guys.
I like it. What about you, Pangrac?
I got Austin as well.
Todd?
Austin.
That's what I had as well. So a 4 pick for Austin Felix. Not surprised. The guy just straight up catches them when it comes to smallmouth. Just no question to ask. And he's probably been one of the most consistent anglers the last couple of years anyway on the Bassmaster Elite Series. Let's go and jump into Group C. Todd, how about you lead us off in Group C? I think this is pretty easy.
I mean,
personally.
Yeah, I mean, they've all been I think we're gonna get killed on doing this, but I mean, Gustafson, Jeff. I mean, it's hard not to just go easy on this. This is one of these no-brainer ones. You can just go down the list.
Well, so I actually think this one, I'm going to go ahead and jump in here. I'm going Brian Schmidt because there's not a better angler on Lake Champlain, in my opinion, than Brian Schmidt, especially if the largemouth are in play. And if it is a little bit later, like Scott is hinting at, Brian Schmidt is an absolute lock, in my opinion, for a top 10. Honestly, I don't know if I've ever seen him not make a top 10 on that lake, ever. I mean, in the years that I fished that lake, I've never seen him not make a top 10. So
I don't think he made one in the last tour event.
Did he not? Oh, okay. When they were full-fledged spawning there.
The only reason I'll say that is the guys I was rooming with, and Hartman will probably, the guys I was rooming with in that event, one of them made the top 10 in that event. And I know that Schmidt gave him some stuff to go do on that final day. That he said, but I think he caught a 20-pound bag.
He did
that third day to make that cut, but not enough to make the top 10.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's a no-brainer right there too.
Yeah, Schmidt's just so strong. I mean, he is one of those guys that he knows exactly where he's going. He knows exactly what he's going to do, and he's going to catch them. What about you, Hartman? I think this probably, I could guess this one for you.
Yeah, you can. I like it that Bass is sleeping on him again. They're good at forgetting him. I don't know how they did. He won a Bassmaster Open there a few years back, and Todd is right about that story. They were sharing a lot, and it ended up being the eventual winner. I think Schmidt finished 11th or 12th and barely missed that cut. He had a 21-pound bag on day 3 and just barely missed the top 10. He came back after giving that information and no practice, jumped on a plane, flew from Florida or somewhere crazy just to fish the stupid BFL up there.
And blew it out.
Yeah, and blew it out and won it.
Yeah.
And anyway, yeah, I mean, this guy's obviously a Potomac River hand, but the Champlain is just his wheelhouse and has been for a long time.
What about you, Pangrac?
I mean, you guys were mentioning, the guys that are locks up north, and historically, the guys who catch them up north always catch them up north. I think it just has something to do with the size of the fishery, the fish population, the density of the fish. And then also a lot of times you'll have weather shortened events. So it's harder to make a move in those events, but like you really have to make your fantasy moves kind of in the last 2 or 3 tournaments that we had, because the guys are so consistent up north with the smallmouth and then even the largemouth. But I'm going with the guy who, when it comes to upstate New York, has an incredible track record in the lower level tournaments and also on the Elite Series. That's Jamie Hartman. You look at the number of top 10s that he's had. I think that's a lock. And with where I'm sitting, I'm trying to get as many points. And I think as much of a lock as Schmidt is, I think Jamie Hartman is too.
I agree with that.
No, I agree. Yeah, I think between those two and even Gussie. I mean, Gussie always tends to catch him there as well. So,
well, I changed my pick, by the way. I changed it to Brian Schmidt. Like, I didn't realize he was on. I skipped. I didn't see his. Like, I'm doing it to Brian. I feel way more confident with Brian than I do with Gustafson.
Yeah, I like the way that Brian fishes, and that he just has that knack for that northern fishery. There's no doubt about it.
I will say this before we move real quick. There is a guy in this that I think is very underrated that has been on fire lately, and that's Pat Schlapper. He's from Wisconsin. If you understand northern grass lakes, I think you could see Schlapper come in with a couple big bags. This derby is only at 1%.
Yeah,
you just like saying his last name.
Schlapper.
Are we gonna talk about the fact that no one is talking, like no one's picking anyone that would go down to tie?
No, Schmidt goes to tie all the time.
Yeah, that's one thing that makes him so strong. There is
I don't know if he'll go down there.
You never know, man. Like he is that guy. He loves that place.
I've heard the tie has not been playing.
And he caught. I don't think he caught him there at tie last time.
It wouldn't surprise me.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't mind picking him. Yeah.
All right, Group D. I'll go ahead and lead it off. I'm going Paul Mueller. Once again, sticking with those northern guys. I mean, the guy just shines on the north of anywhere, north of Tennessee, it seems like. But it still wins down here too. So he's just on a roll. He's a great fisherman. I think he's going to have a good event. What about you, Hallman?
Same thing, Paul Mueller.
Hanger?
Mueller.
Todd?
Mueller.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was thinking on that one.
Hey, I had to, Matt. You know what I'm saying? Like Mueller.
All right, Group E. Who do we got? Go ahead, Matt.
Dude, I don't know who to pick in Group E. I could sit there and go, Kelly J is going to catch him on a jerk bait. Rob Dye crossed my mind. You go old school. Maybe Rick Clun comes through, finds a square bill in the grass. I have no clue who to pick here. In the end, I'm going to go chalk and just go Destin DeMarion because he's been there before, has a couple decent finishes.
Yeah, I went Destin DeMarion as well. I think he's going to have a good event there. I mean, there are a couple other good picks in that group. But I'll go ahead and let Hallman go ahead and tell us who he's going to get first.
I wanted to go very last in this group because I honestly have not even picked.
I'll go real quick, Hallman.
Go ahead, Todd. Who you got?
I picked just because it's easy, Destin.
Destin.
I picked DeMarion too.
So every one of you. So this would be, if I pick Destin, that would be 3 of us picking the same guy, 3 of the 5.
I mean,
it's northern. That's what happens up north, Hallman.
Yeah.
I know, and I said I was going to stick with all northern guys because, listen, I know I've been there. I know what it's like the first time, and for a guy like Daryl Gleason to show up there, I mean, this thing it's
intimidating,
dude. It's another world, and it takes a while to get your head wrapped around it. When I say a while, I ain't talking about a week. I'm talking about years.
But listen, there's some guys last time they went there. I know that Lee Livesey was kind of in the same area as whatchamacallit was Seth Fider. I know David Mullins was catching him on a crankbait really well and was like, I mean, there'll be some big time surprise guys that like do some, these aren't just locked. These are locked probably to do decent, but there's going to be some guys up there that are going to surprise some people.
I mean, like, let's be honest, guys. We never mentioned a Brandon Polnick that's won there. Zaldane, that is a heavy finesse guy. I mean, you're talking about guys. Jochimson, I remember Jochimson coming in with a real big bag, throwing a glide baiter on docks.
Don't you agree though that Champlain isn't that finessey?
It isn't, but it just depends how you're trying to catch them. So I mean, if you're catching spawn and smallmouth, like you're finessing them up for the most part. Most people,
but you can go like fish grass and stuff. I mean, you can kind of do some like. Thrift was smashed when we were all up there. Like Thrift started every day catching 17 pounds on a topwater. I mean,
absolutely, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like big ones, and like caught a 6-pound largemouth doing it with smallies on every cast. I mean, it was you don't have to finesse them up there.
No, you don't. You don't even have to fish deeper than like 12 foot. Honestly,
you can fish.
I just really want to mess up Hallman on his pick. I'm just trying to mess him up.
I just went with Destin. It's a safe pick.
So here is a new segment. We did it at the Classic. We're going to pick who we think is going to win the tournament. True winner. Who do we think wins this tournament at Lake Champlain? I want to say I went with Pangrac first last time. I'm going to go Hallman first this time. Who do you have, Hallman, for the win?
Same guy I picked early in Group A, Corey Johnston.
Okay. What about you, Matt? Who you got?
I got Scott Martin.
Okay. And can't pick the same person. Go ahead, Todd.
Dude, I'm so glad I get to do this after Hallman. I'm going to go for his first ever win, Brian Schmidt.
Yep. That's who I was going to go with, but I figured I'd go last. Seeing that I really believe that one of those guys will probably end up winning the event, I'm going to go somebody that I didn't even pick in here, and I'm going to go Matt Airy. I know it's a bold pick.
That's a bold pick.
But he got second place at the Classic. You know he's mad. Like, I know for a fact that dude is just pissed off right now. And how many times have we seen somebody get second place in an event and then roll out and win the next one? It happens a lot. He's gonna be mad. He's been there a bunch. So I don't know. I think Matt Airy is a wild dark horse pick if one of the 3 guys that they didn't mention right there wins this tournament. All right, guys, real fast. Let's go ahead and jump into weights. Todd, what do you got on your 4-day weight for the win?
All of my research that I never do. I'm sure Matt's looked at them all and like freaking got a spreadsheet over the deal. I want to say, if I remember right, 17 pounds a day was pretty strong. I think. So I went, but that was when we were at the tour. I think that's what was going on. I could be wrong. But that was with 170 guys.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go a little bit more, 71.3.
Okay.
Am I way off? Matt, don't do that. Is that bad? I have no idea.
That's pretty funny. I actually went 74.6.
Well, that's close.
Yeah. What about you, Hallman? What you got?
I'm at 75.8.
Matt?
I was
Look at Matt.
I'm way off here. I went 84.15. I looked at the weather. It's going to be calm. They're going to be able to fish all their stuff.
Nah,
If you throw in a little bit of the spawning fish, that's just a hair over 20 a day.
it's too late in the spawn, bro.
Yep, too late in the spawn. They won't hit
All right.
20 a day. Not there.
All right.
Wow.
I'd have to adjust that. The only bad thing about Champlain is there's a bunch of 3 to 3.5, 3 3/4 pounders. There's just
I know. I looked at it. I just thought 20. I thought maybe you'd have a 24-pound bag one day, a 19, and then a couple 20s. If you get on something, you're gonna be able to fish it all 4 days. You got not that many boats.
Listen, I will say that is, without divulging too much about some of that stuff, like that. My first day there, I saw more 4 to 5 pounders than I'd ever seen on any of them smallmouth places.
Oh yeah,
but I was also told after the event, when one of these schools, it was the biggest school of smallmouth I've ever seen up shallow, when it all left, I was told that like, hey, it's notorious for them leaving just because of too much there was all, you put that place for whatever reason, when you start catching them over there, they all leave.
Yeah.
But I did see a bunch of big ones the first day. I was like a bunch. It was like incredible, all up shallow.
Well, we had a really weird weather condition there. We had that massive cold front roll in. It dropped. I know it did. Yeah, it dropped that water big time, temp wise, because a lot of the spawners I'd found and a lot of the fish I'd found were gone. And they actually, I remember I had a local buddy of mine that lived up there that told me that a lot of times it depends on the wind direction, but if the wind blows off the main lake in a certain direction, it'll blow that ice cold water out in that 100, 200 foot of water and blow it up on those flats, and it'll get that water extremely cold. So if there are spawners up there, it'll really mess them up big time.
I thought it was calm every day.
No, first day was awesome of practice. And then my wife went and practiced with me at that event. And I tell this story quite often, but she crawled up under my console because it rained so hard and for so long on the second or third day of practice. I don't remember which one it was. And it was absolutely miserable.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
I know on day 2 was the day that I got to go out there and I started catching some in like 12 foot of water, sight fit. Like I didn't know they were out there because it finally got calm. That was of the tournament though. And I caught them all out there where I'd never found, like I found a bar out there that had a bunch of them on it.
Did you have your flogger?
Did you?
I didn't need one. I didn't need one. Nope.
Hey, that flogging. Hey, you're gonna see a flogger bunch this week, no doubt.
Oh
Yeah,
my
I screwed
God.
up on that weight.
We got to go hear about this again.
No. It's hey, you know what? I'm kind of frustrated because you beat me to the video. I had it already ready to roll, and you posted, and I was like, I can't follow him up and do it. But well, guys, that's a wrap for our fantasy fishing show. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I hope these picks help you make your picks. And if you haven't looked at our group, we do have a group on Bassmaster Fantasy Fishing. So see if y'all can beat us. And I hope y'all enjoy it, and we'll see you on the next one.